Router slab flattening jigs, like this full-size slab flattening jig from Rockler, will flatten slabs as well as a CNC machine and for a lot less money. But if you've been on the fence about whether or not to invest in a big system like this, here are 5 great qualities about Rockler's full-size slab flattening jig that I think make it a great buy. And the first is accuracy. You can't flatten a big slab like this unless the jig is capable of working in a flat plane. And to do that, these long rails that form the foundation of the jig need to be flat from one end to the other. And here's how Rockler makes sure that they are. These rails are thick, double-walled aluminum extrusions which stiffens them over their length. And these 1/4-inch thick steel splice bars bridge the joint where the long rails come together. 4 screws tighten them in place to ensure that the joints are flat and the rails are evenly aligned. Heavy-duty construction also ensures that this jig will hold its settings and stand up to all the vibration and abuse that goes along with slab flattening. The trolley rails match the long rails, so they're robust aluminum extrusions, and all the blue components you see here, the end caps of the trolley, the router carriage, and all the brackets that hold the long rails in place are 1/8-inch thick powder-coated steel for durability. A second great quality of this full-size slab flattening jig is ease of use, and that all starts with how easy it is to mount your router to it. This blue steel plate is pre-drilled with the base plate hole patterns for 23 different popular mid-sized and full-size routers. Just line up your router's base to the correct hole pattern and fasten it to the plate with screws or bolts. No need to lay out the correct position yourself, and you don't need to drill any holes. Simple. And speaking of easy, these large ball bearing wheels make it easy to roll the trolley along the long rails and the router carriage across the trolley. And the smoother this carriage moves, the better, because you're going to make hundreds of these back and forth passes when you're surfacing a big slab. These little fenders over the wheels even have brushes inside them to help clear any debris, which keeps the wheels rolling smoothly. You'll need to raise or lower the trolley height to accommodate different slab thicknesses, but that's easy to do too. To raise or lower the trolley, just remove the knobs that hold the wheel lugs in place and move them to one of the 5 preset positions. No tools required. I like this rubber-covered handle too. You don't have to stoop over and hang on to the router handles, which really helps when you're pushing to the far end of the trolley. The handle lets you stand more upright, which is a lot easier on your back. A third measure of this jig's quality is its safety features, and there are a number of them. For one, these deep wheel channels fit over a tall raised track on the trolley and long rails. There's no way these wheels are going to go off course when feeding the router carriage across a slab. For added safety, 2 spring-loaded locking pins on the carriage ensure that the wheels can't come off the trolley rails when the locks are engaged. All 4 wheels stay on the tracks no matter what. This orange spring-loaded friction pad is another great safety feature. Pushing it down releases the trolley so that it rolls left and right. But when you let go, it acts as a brake to prevent the trolley from shifting sideways. This way, the trolley can't drift off course as you push the router across it. You're always routing a straight path, and you're never at risk of losing your balance if the trolley were to suddenly shift sideways. Even these end rail brackets are designed with safety in mind. The tops of the brackets stand proud of the tops of the long rails, so the trolley can't accidentally roll off the end. Also, here's a quick tip related to using this jig that's not actually a feature of the jig. It's important to secure your slab before you start flattening it, but the tricky part is you can't use regular clamps that could get in the way of the router. The easiest and most secure option I've seen are these slab gripper hold-down clamps from Rockler. You simply screw them to your work table, the spikes hold the slab in place, and they keep the surface clear for flattening. They're easy to install with single number 8 screws. Quality feature number 4 is dust collection. Surfacing slabs produces a huge amount of dust and debris, as you can imagine, so dust collection is essential here. Rockler has taken cues from the CNC industry when designing dust collection for this jig. This large plastic dust boot with stiff bristles around the rim fastens to the bottom of the router carriage. A 2 1/4 inch inside diameter port on top friction fits to a shop vacuum or dust collector hose. No dust collection provision is going to capture absolutely all the debris, but this solution does an impressive job of keeping the top of the slab clean. A fifth and final quality I'll point out about this full-size slab flattening jig is expandability. Now, out of the box, it'll flatten slabs up to 28.5 inches wide by 78.5 inches long. That's pretty big. But if you need to flatten even bigger slabs, Rockler has a 57.5 inch long extension rail kit. By splicing the extension rails onto the ends of the stock rails, you can flatten slabs up to 136 inches long, or nearly 12 feet. Or replace these trolley rails with the longer extension rails and splice the trolley rails on the ends of the long rails instead. In that configuration, you can flatten slabs up to 44.5 inches wide by 10 feet long. Rockler's full-size slab flattening jig is chock full of quality features and built to last. It'll help bring those big slab flattening tasks down to size, and you'll have fun doing it. See it at your local Rockler store or learn more at rockler.com. I'm Chris Marshall with Woodworkers Journal Magazine and Rockler, and thanks for watching.